Hey there, welcome to Oldman Runner. In today's vlog, I'm going to talk about how I train with my Stryd footpod. This little beauty clips onto my shoe, onto the laces of the shoe, and it's how I collect data for my runs. Now, typically what the Stryd does is it calculates what's called your critical power. It works out how much power you can put out, and then it uses that to guide your training, and it also gives you a guide prediction for your marathon. Now, I didn't use this extensively before I started training now for the Zurich marathon. I did do some calibration testing in the Arizona desert, so I know it's calibrated properly, and now I'm using it to help me with my training. It syncs in with the watch, so I can see the data as I'm running on my watch, on the Apple Watch, on a live feed. I could also connect it to the course pace too, but I haven't done that yet. So I look at the training data on my Apple Watch. Now, it gives a race prediction. And so at the moment, it's predicting that I will finish the Zurich marathon in 4 hours and about 5 minutes. And that's based on my current wattage, my critical power at 235 watts. The training has just started. When I did the Chicago marathon in October, I hit the start line at about 267 watts was what the critical power was calculated. As your training increases and as your training load increases, and I'm guessing as your training performance increases, the critical power goes up and gets readjusted throughout. And as the critical power goes up, the expected time to finish will go down. Now, at the same time, I'm looking at the predicted time. So this is about 4:05. I'll go through the exact details. And it's predicting, this Chorus watch also makes predictions. And the prediction on the Chorus watch, I think at the moment, is that it started at 3:53, I think. But that's simply based on the last marathon time. I ran Buckeye in 3:53 and 10 seconds, 3 hours 53 minutes. So I'm guessing this one, it looks like my pace is getting slower, and this one, my pace is going faster as the training goes. I suspect they'll both even themselves out as the training prolongs. With a bit of luck, they might even out. I expect this will still tell me I'll take a bit longer than this one will, because that seems to have been the pattern that happens. It's very easy when you're out training, so it'll say run for a certain distance at this pace, and then run for a certain distance at this pace, and so on and so forth. And I follow that follow that religiously as best I can. The Stryd has a number, the Stryd here has a number of advantages when you're training. It collects a lot of data on stride length and all that, and I've done various videos about that, and I'm doing some more. But essentially what it does is, the beauty of it is, if you're on a hilly course, it will tell you the power that it thinks you can put out. And of course, if you put out the same power going uphill, you'll go slower than you would going downhill. And Stryd's view is that if you put the same power consistently, you'll get a better result rather than trying to run up and down according to a particular pace. Now, in Zurich, the course is largely flat. So there might be some wind, but largely the advantages of pacing with the Stryd won't be as much as they would be on a hilly course. It could be windy, of course, and so the out and back, there is an out and back leg, and I'll go through the course in another vlog, but that could change. But for the moment, I'm using the Stryd essentially for the training plans. There is a certain lack of variety in the training plans. I think I've been using it a couple of times, and they tend to have a block of easy running, and then sometimes there are tempo days and there are strides. So typically on the tempo days, there might be 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off, either 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 goes as you ramp up the training. And strides, I think, are 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, and again it increases as the training goes on. And after a while, it gets a little bit repetitive. So I have a couple of other plans for future marathons, but for the moment, I'm following the training plan. All's going well. I just follow along. Whatever it says to do, I do. Hopefully I'll get a bit quicker. I find it easier to do the strides than the tempos. My guess is a lot of people do that, and I can get higher numbers. What's really good about the Stryd in the training is because it measures the wind. I'm running down on the Shelly Banks in Dublin, along that long straight stretches where I do my strides and my tempo days. And largely, typically, you're going into the wind on one section, and the wind is at your back at another. So seeing the performance data out of this factors in the wind, and that makes it really easy. I do enjoy working with the Stryd. I did have issues with calibrating it, but all that's now in sync. I'll show a quick look at the data. I also put my data onto an Excel spreadsheet, so because I'm trying to review shoes, I'm trying to see how much mileage or kilometerage is in the shoes, and I'm trying to do that. So I keep a little Excel spreadsheet, and I'll show you a few clips here of you can see how I've kept a track of the critical power and also what the course is telling me. I don't put too much faith into it. I mean, I don't think I'm going to run a pace based on what this says or what this says. I mean, I'm going to do it based on my feel for the day, but it is nice to know how training is going. When I had the injury before Christmas, the numbers in these both fell off rapidly to the point where I largely abandoned any faith in them. I think going to the start line in Buckeye, this probably said something like it'd be 4 hours and 10 minutes or something, and this was largely something 4 and a couple of minutes. But I outperformed both of those expectations. So I expect in Zurich not to be too focusing on what these say, but rather how I feel in my training, how I think it's gone, and mentally how I feel the course is going to be, and I'll do that in a later video. So see you next week. Thanks for watching.